Good evening, everybody. We'll call our meeting to order, and we will begin with a moment of silence. Let's stand for our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now we will have our approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, in review of the agenda, I'm requesting that item 8 be moved to item number 6 and item 12 be moved to item number 7 as we are recognizing personnel.
Okay. All right. We have a second.
Second.
Okay. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Broadnax Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Agenda is approved as amended. Now we'll have a conflict of interest statement.
In accordance with the rules and procedures adopted by this board in the section 153A44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there's a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter. No conflict.
No conflict.
No conflict, Broadnax Taylor.
No conflict. All right, next item is citizens' comments.
Madam Clerk, have we received any? For those citizens who've signed up, when you're recognized, please approach the podium. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes maximum. The chair will cut off all speakers exceeding their allotted time. If you have any questions of the board, you will receive a response from the board or county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you tonight during your allotted time. And pursuant to North Carolina law, this time is allotted on the agenda for public commentary on county business. This is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county commissioner or employee, and the chair will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. Commissioners, I have 2 sign-up sheets. The first by Mr. Jim Nystrom.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry to hear about Lisa's grandma. Good luck doing the financial update. Okay, good evening, everybody. On the matter of Northampton County letter to FERC regarding Dominion's lack of engagement regarding aquatic vegetation treatment. The aquatic vegetation is surging without treatment. 8 letters have been sent to FERC and to Rob Blue, the CEO of Dominion, by all 5 surrounding counties. Thank you for taking leadership there. The Lake Gaston Association, the Lake Gaston Weed Control Council, and Congressman Davis's office. Well done. Dominion has received all letters and FERC has acknowledged receipt. We are awaiting agency engagement with Dominion to review their proposed shoreline management plan. So hang tight. Item number 2, I just wanted to ask, several meetings ago, we approved some additional overtime for sheriff's deputies for some areas, maybe in Seaboard and Rich Square and maybe some other areas. I don't know how that's going. No comments tonight. I just want to bring it up and say maybe it's worth a follow-up. What a beautiful day. Sunshine, warm temperatures, blue skies, white clouds, and fields full of opportunity and prosperity. Right, Keith? On the matter of tonight's rezoning, I drove to and around the area today. I see the neighboring business is expanding. a good sign for the prosperity of the area, including light industrial, a small rail yard. Northampton County is fortunate that we can utilize the previous investment made by Dominion with high voltage electricity, water, and a road that adds value to this land and sets it up for mixed use. It looks like an excellent location for light industrial, a small rail yard, and, if I dare say it, a data center. I encourage the county to evaluate a mixed use plan for the proposed 550 acres in order to maximize the use and long-term value of the land and minimize our dependency on a single business or two. Mixed use is the way to go. What I haven't seen and what may be missing is a feasibility study and confidence that a $25 million annual tax revenue is going to be achieved by this property. When is that going to be realized? Probably not in year one, but what is the plan? I haven't seen anything in the board deck for that. For what it's worth, the following counties receive tax revenue from data centers. Guccian County, Virginia, 40 cents per $100 assessment for 30 years awarded to Google for a data center campus. Chesterfield County, Virginia, 53 cents per $100 assessment for multiple data centers in the county. Henrico County, Virginia, just raised their rate from 60 cents to $2.60 per $100 assessment. Perhaps this can factor into your planning. Good luck with the project. It looks like a great use for this land and revenue generation. Thank you. Let's go.
Thank you.
Ms. Belinda Joyner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First, I would like to thank the board for your response to my request about the trip to Virginia. To your county manager and to your economic developer, since you all found the time to visit Virginia about a data center, I'm wondering when you all will find the time to go back and visit the areas that are impacted by those data centers, to talk to the people that's being impacted every day. And whenever you decide on that date, I would like to be one of the chosen ones to go with you, because it's three sides to every story: your side, my side, and the truth. And if you only meet with the people about the data centers, they're going to tell you exactly what they want you to hear. But then you need to go out into the community and look at those people that live it every day and see what they have to say about it. It's kind of sad that we have to go through this, and it's almost sickening to even come to these meetings, because in a way you already know what the result's going to be before you even get there. And I'd also like to speak on Mr. Jason McAllister's behalf. I feel like he was kind of thrown under the bus on the 3rd. He hadn't had a meeting since April. He only had 2 board meetings. He got 3 departments and only 1 employee. And in 3 months, you all expected him to have this great report on the data centers as if they change from day to day. I thought that was really very disrespectful to him. But I would say to him, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord, because it's going to happen. Like I say, it's sad to think of the leadership or lack of leadership that we have here in Northampton County, because it's not about the people that you serve, it's about what I did or what I'm going to do. So, you know, if you have any conscience, think about it at night when you go to sleep.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the proclamation in honor of Eddie Buffalo. Northampton County Board of Commissioners proclamation in honor and memory of Eddie Manfred Jack Buffalo Sr. Whereas the citizens of Northampton County lost one of its own with the death of Eddie Manfred Jack Buffalo Sr. on June 29th, 2026 at 95 years old. Whereas affectionately known as Jack, Mr. Buffalo was born on June 3rd, 1931 in Gunbury to the late Eddie Bruce Buffalo and Geneva Brooks Buffalo, the 9th of 11 children, and was lovingly reared on the family farm before graduating from Northampton County Training School. Whereas Mr. Buffalo answered the call to serve his country, enlisting in the United States Army on December 5th, 1951, and continuing his service in the United States Army Reserve until his honorable discharge on November 10th, 1958. Whereas while working for Georgia Pacific Corporation, Mr. Buffalo discovered his true calling in law enforcement, beginning as a special deputy with the Northampton County Sheriff's Office in 1965, and later serving as a police officer in the town of Rich Square before joining the Sheriff's Office full-time in 1975, where he rose to the rank of Chief Deputy. Whereas Mr. Buffalo was appointed Chief of Police for the town of Rich Square in 1991, and though he was shot in the line of duty in June 1996 while responding to a domestic dispute, he recovered and continued to faithfully serve the citizens of Rich Square until his retirement in 1999. Thereafter, serving as a courtroom bailiff for the Northampton County District and Superior Courts from 1999 until 2016, completing 51 consecutive years of law enforcement service to the state of North Carolina. Whereas on February 3rd, 2017, Mr. Buffalo's distinguished career was entered into the congressional record of the 115th Congress by Representative G.K. Butterfield, and was presented the Order of the Longleaf Pine, North Carolina's highest civilian honor, by Governor Roy Cooper. Whereas Mr. Buffalo was a faithful member of Second Baptist Pottawatomie Church, where he served as a trustee and lent his voice as a soloist in the sanctuary and men's choir, and whereas Mr. Buffalo is survived by his beloved wife of 67 years, Ruth Langford Buffalo, 3 sons, Anthony K. Buffalo, Dion T. Buffalo, and Eddie M. Buffalo, Jr., 4 grandsons, 1 great-grandson, and a host of nieces, nephews, extended family members, and friends. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Northampton County Board of Commissioners respectfully honors the life and memory of Eddie Manford Jack Buffalo Sr. and expresses its sincere sympathy and condolences to his family during this time of great personal loss. Be it further proclaimed, let the board express its deep appreciation and gratitude for the time and commitment given by Eddie Manford Jack Buffalo Sr. in serving and protecting the citizens of Northampton County this 17th day of August 2026. William Ed Martin, Chair, Northampton County Board of Commissioners. Could I get a motion to approve this proclamation?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Broadnax Taylor.
Aye. Motion is unanimously carried honoring Mr. Buffalo. You have a copy. You have a copy. Let's-
So this is also from the Northampton County Board. We're gonna put them over here, so take it home, okay? All right. Thank you very much.
I used to work at the grocery store with Anthony and Dean. Get everybody back in their seats. Okay. The next item is Department of Social Services Matters with Rhonda Taylor.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, County Manager, and congregation. Today, I would like to, first of all, ask my child support staff to please come forward, the ones that are here. We have Charlotte Smith, who is the supervisor. We have, Lord have mercy, Erica, and we have Sandra, thank you. And these are part of our child support staff. And this month, the month of August, is Child Support Awareness Month. I would like to ask Dr. Kelvin Edwards to please read the proclamation that I left at your table.
You want me to read?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you got that.
He is a commissioner that serves on my board, and I also have one of my board members, Ms. Sylvia Vincent, here
Since
as
we took
well.
things out of order, I gotta figure out where we're at.
You want it? Do you have it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. There she
Thank
got
you.
it.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Child Support Awareness Month by the Governor of the State of North Carolina. Whereas children are entitled to financial support from their parents, and North Carolina continues to improve its efforts in child support collections. And whereas North Carolina Child Support Services is dedicated to serving families and children in North Carolina. And whereas in state fiscal year 2025 through 2026, nearly $649 million was collected, providing support for more than 288,000 North Carolina children. And whereas children who do not receive adequate financial and emotional support from their parents may experience greater difficulty in becoming happy, healthy, and productive as adults. And whereas many concerned and dedicated judges, district attorneys, clerks of courts, sheriff's personnel, and child support professionals work to establish and enforce child support orders for North Carolina's children, one of our state's most vital resources. Now, therefore, I, Josh Stein, Governor of the State of North Carolina, do hereby proclaim August 2026 as Child Support Awareness Month in North Carolina and commend its observance to all residents. Signed, Governor Josh Stein.
Thank you. On Friday, we held a child support conference where we had people from the community come in to set up booths to provide resources to clients, and we also gave away school supplies, and it lasted from 10 to 2. Our child support staff, they do a great job in collections, and they make sure that our children, the children of Northampton County, are taken care of by the absentee parents. And I just wanted to bring them forward to let you know what a great job that they do.
Thank you for all that you do.
So now I have a couple of people, the state, North Carolina Association of County DSS. We had several things go on. 2 weeks ago, we went to Hickory to our conference, and at the conference, the following people received awards. I would like to ask Miss Melinda Motley. She did retire, but Miss Melinda Motley, please come forward. And if the commissioners could please come down so that we could take a picture, county manager and board member, if you would like to as well. If you will stand there, please. Please stay up front. So the certificate of retirement presented to Melinda Motley, given with sincere appreciation for your outstanding contributions serving the citizens of North Carolina through your local Department of Social Services agency, Northampton County, for 20 years of dedicated service. Signed by our Executive Director, Ms. Karen Powell. And Melinda has also been away from the agency, and we did not get the opportunity to present her with her plaque. It reads, Melinda Motley, on behalf of the Northampton County Department of Social Services, I want to thank you for 20 years of dedicated service to this agency. We appreciate your loyalty and devotion to DSS and the citizens of Northampton County. She began October the 3rd, 2005, and her last day was December 31st, 2025. Presented to you by Rhonda Taylor, Director of Northampton County Department of Social Services.
Thank you.
This is your box. Thank you. So the next three presentations are the State of North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, Division of Social Services, Service Awards. Expressing appreciation for your efforts on behalf of the well-being of North Carolinians, we do recognize Suzanne Jacobs, Northampton County, for 25 years of dedicated service, awarded in the year of 2026, Deputy Secretary of Opportunity and Wellbeing, Office of the Secretary. Ms. Suzanne Jacobs, please come forward. And I'm going to call all of them so that we can just take one picture, please. The next one, it reads the same thing. So Ms. Evelyn Joyner, please come forward. And they actually started on the same day. And the next one I'm going to read is expressing appreciation for your efforts on behalf of the well-being of North Carolinians. We do recognize Ms. Melissa Barnes, Northampton County, for 30 years of dedicated service, awarded in the year of 2026. Ms. Melissa Barnes. And these awards are presented by the State Division of Health and Human Services.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I do like to recognize my staff when they have accomplished 25, 30, 35 years. So that's why I bring them in front of everyone, because these are the longest tenured staff, some of the longest tenured staff in Northampton County, and I'd like to recognize them when we have the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the hard work y'all put in. I know that's a difficult task. Thank you. Okay. Okay, the next item is the public hearing. We will now leave our regular meeting and go into the public hearing. The Board of Commissioners will now convene a public hearing on rezoning application RZ 26-000001. This is a request to rezone 4 parcels of land totaling approximately 550.27 acres located in Pleasant Hill Township, east of NC 301 and just south of the Virginia state line from agricultural residential, or AR, to light industrial, or LI. The parcels are parcel numbers 05-00325, 05-00485, 05-00468, and 05-02549. I'll now ask the county attorney to confirm that the notice of this hearing has been given as required by the North Carolina law.
The short answer is yes. There are 3 notice requirements under the North Carolina General Statutes. The first being that notice is published in the newspaper at least once a week for 2 successive calendar weeks, with the first publication not less than 10 days and not more than 25 days before the hearing date. The notice of this public hearing was published on August the 4th and the 11th in the Roanoke Rapids Daily Herald. Second, written mailed notice must be sent to the owners of the 4 subject parcels and to the owners of all abutting parcels not less than 10 days and not more than 25 days before the hearing. These mailings occurred on July the 30th. And finally, notice signs must be posted on or adjacent to each parcel as required by the county ordinance and under the state statute. These postings occurred on August the 4th.
Okay, before we proceed, I will ask whether any member of the board has a conflict of interest with respect to this application. Under state law, a member may not vote on a zoning map amendment if the outcome is reasonably likely to have a direct, substantial, and readily identifiable financial impact on that member. Does anyone have a conflict?
No conflict.
No conflict.
No conflict, Broadnax Taylor.
No conflict. Okay. I want to explain briefly what kind of hearing this is. This is a legislative hearing. The board is being asked to decide whether to change the zoning classification of this land. Witnesses will not be sworn. There will be no cross-examination, and the board may consider any information it believes relevant, including opinions and concerns of the citizens. This is different from a hearing on a special use permit where the board acts more like a court. One point is important to understand. The application describes a rail yard as intended use for the property. However, this is a request for a general zoning district, not a conditional zoning district. If the board approves this rezoning, every use permitted for light industrial will be allowed on this property, not only a rail yard. The board must consider the full range of uses that the LI district allows. The board cannot attach conditions to this rezoning limiting the property to a rail yard. Anyone who wishes to speak on this application will be given an opportunity. When you come forward, please state your name, your address, and each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes. The applicant will be allowed 10 minutes for its presentation. Please direct your remarks to the board rather than to other members of the audience, and if a point has already been made, it is not necessary to repeat it. I will first call on Jason McAllister, Planning and Zoning Director, to present the staff report.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, like you said, this was first zoning application we've had this year, and this was presented to the planning board in April. It was unanimously approved by all members to change this from agricultural residential to light industrial. I do want to go over some of the approved uses for light industrial. Accessory buildings and uses that are customary to incidental to the use permitted in this district. Agricultural uses, assembly, and packaging operations, including mail order houses, bakeries and food production, preparation, bottling work, clothing, curtain and linen manufacturing, cosmetic manufacturing, dairy processing and distribution, electrical appliance manufacturing, electrical machine manufacturing and or assembly, government buildings, buildings used for federal, state, county, or city government for public purposes, government protective services, police and fire, industrial supplies and equipment, industrial trade schools, jewelry manufacturing, laboratories for research and testing, leather products and luggage manufacturing, excluding tanning and curing, machine welding shops, metal fabrication, excluding foundry and stamping, offices that generate low to medium traffic volumes, have no adverse effect beyond boundary number 27, printing and publishing, radio and television studios, railroad stations and yards, research facilities including manufacturing and incidental to the use, sign painting, fabrication shops, distribution centers, wooden production factories, sign in accordance with Northampton County outdoor and advertising signs, underground low or high voltage electric power distribution lines, telephone lines, water and sewer lines, low or medium pressure gas distribution, underground liquefied fuel transmission lines, water and wastewater collection and transmission lines, pumping stations, meter vaults, apparatuses requirements for part of such utilities, electrical substations, warehousing and other storage facilities, wholesale and jobbing establishments. So this does fall within the comprehensive plan for the county, and it was approved unanimously by the planning board. The owner does have a pretty in-depth presentation that he would like to show as well. If you have any questions for me while I'm here.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Jason before we allow the applicant to make their presentation? Okay. All right, we will now call on the applicant for their presentation.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Avi Hoffer. I'm with ERI Group, specifically ERI Development, for this particular project. I think it's important to know not only what's going to be done, by who it's going to be done with. We have always been and always will be what we consider to be a good neighbor. And what we mean by that is that all the projects that we have undertaken over the last 18 years, which is we've redeveloped 11 brownfields. And what's a brownfield? Brownfield is a piece of property that has been used and abandoned. How many of you here remember the Georgia Pacific plant that was sitting in Virginia? That plant was shuttered a long time ago. It sat vacant. It was sold to a company that scraps metal. So they acquired the property, tore all the metal out of it, all the electric lines, all the equipment. They ripped holes in the sides of the building, and it was left as a useless piece of property. How many of you remember that? Maybe. So we not only acquired that property, we acquired many other properties. And what we did with that property is revitalized it. We've done this with a glass factory that was shuttered for over a decade and had poisonous rooms. That facility, 500,000 square feet today, houses the company that makes Campbell's soup cans, a company that is an international logistics company, another one that is building a water treatment, brand new water treatment plant, and another company that takes government surplus equipment and resells it. The entire 500,000 square foot building, which had been abandoned for over a decade, is completely full and used. When we acquired the old Georgia Pacific plant in Virginia, someone asked us, what were we going to do with it? And you know what our answer was? We have no idea. We honestly had no idea. The reason we acquired the property is because A, it had industrial zoning, B, it was very large, 350 acres, and C, most importantly, it had an active rail spur. That rail line is the main CSX rail line. And a rail spur from the main CSX line allows companies to cost effectively transport material from anywhere in the country. There are projects that are on that property where containers are being shipped in Massachusetts and shipped down to that location and then reloaded and shipped over to the Brunswick landfill. Republic Services, one of the largest waste management companies in the country, uses that yard to be able to rail in containerized material and ship it. When Dominion Energy had to relocate the ash that was sitting in their ponds because it was not lined, a company called Amrise, which is one of the largest cement manufacturers in the world today, proposed to build a recycling facility on our property. Now, because we had rail, the requirement was the material had to be shipped by rail outside of Dominion's property. They were not allowed to truck it. So I'm building to a reason here. So when we saw that the Atlantic Coast Pipeline project had failed and that the property was available, I immediately contacted them and negotiated to acquire that property. And if somebody asked me what we're going to do with it, my answer is I have no idea. I can tell you that what we do is we build infrastructure on properties that make it attractive for industrial companies to build their businesses on those properties. We've done that 11 times. We'd like to do it in Northampton. If we could switch the presentation to the next one, and I'll think, there we go. Nope. How many of you have been down Forest Road? My guess is nobody, maybe one. You've been down there today. You ever been down there before? Yeah. To meet with me? Yeah. Okay. But otherwise, how many of you have been down Forest Road? There's nothing down there. Absolutely nothing. So the reason that this location is ideal is because it is practically the furthest place in the county. There is nothing there. In fact, Forest Road ends and there is no more to go. So the only traffic that's going down Forest Road is those that are on our business. So Forest Road is the separation between Virginia and North Carolina, and York County and Greensville County. We have a great relationship with Greensville County, and that's because everything that we said we were going to do, we have done. We took a property that had nothing on it, and let me get to that and I'll show you. So we took an abandoned property in Virginia, 350 acres, and today that has over $200 million in construction investment. There are 3 major clients on the property, and believe it or not, all 350 acres is used. There is no more available space on that property. If you had asked me 4 years ago whether that would be possible, I would tell you I have no idea. But we built the infrastructure. We have almost 4 miles of rail on the facility. We built a rotary dumper. What's a rotary dumper? So when a rail car comes in, it literally takes an entire rail car and rotates it 170 degrees, dumps all the material out of it, rotates it back, and then does the next rail car. They can take a rail car and empty a rail car in under 3 minutes. So that construction enabled us to allow Amrise to build their recycling facility. Now, some of you have said, well, we don't want coal ash. We have no intention of bringing coal ash to North Carolina because that project is in a completely different area and it satisfies all of Amrise's project. Their project is to take all of the ash that is received at that location and convert it into usable material for their cement manufacturing. So they convert that into recycled Portland cement material. So all of the ash that's coming into that facility will eventually be gone. And what will be left is zero ash. That's the project. We have a company that is doing composting. We have a company that's doing rail transfer for Republic Services. And we have another company that does rail car repair, container repair, and refurbishment and manufacturing. So we want to be able to do the same thing. Now, the reason we said rail initially is because that is the artery by which companies can extend their reach rather than by truck. Trucks are very expensive. Drivers, fuel, everybody knows. Long distance rail is the most cost-effective method of transportation. So the first thing we're going to work on is building and designing a rail yard, because once we know that we have rail, then we can market the property for industrial use. I don't know what those are. I don't know which companies are going to be interested. I only know how to start this and develop it. As I said, this, you can see this, there's nothing. I don't think the nearest neighbor is 4 miles or 5 miles away. So pretty much anything that goes on there, nobody would ever know it. Any questions for me? No questions? Well, I
Just to clarify,
appreciate,
just to,
Looking at right now, is that the site before?
yeah, that's the site that Atlantic Coast Pipeline or Dominion Energy was going to build a natural gas compression station. So they cleared all that area. They actually built the entire compression station, spent $35 million. They built the office building. You can see to the right there. It's a beautiful building. And they couldn't get the last mile of pipe. Right. So I read the article and I heard that that after they spent $1 billion, the project was dead. I figured out how to contact the company that handles the real estate for them, and I was able to buy this. I think it's a great deal. I don't know what for, but I think it's going to be a great thing. Yes, the office is ours. All of the land that's there and all the land that's to the right of that is all ours. This is what it would look like with a rail expansion. Shovel ready for industrial growth. It meets all of the requirements for the market. And I didn't even know this, but your vision statement says thrive and businesses grow and prosper. I think that will give this the opportunity for clients to build their businesses in Northampton County. I also think that we can do what we did for Greensville County, which is build something that has now a $25 million tax basis for them. And as mentioned before, it aligns with the 2040 comprehensive plan.
just a clarifying question about the 4 miles of rail that you stated. Where are the 4 miles of rail?
On the Virginia side right now.
On the Virginia side.
Yes, that's correct.
And you,
It comes off of the main CSX line, and there are 4 tracks that do a complete loop, including 2 industrial tracks.
but it's on the Virginia side.
It's on the Virginia side, but the idea would be I could connect that
Understood.
line to this property because it would come right across the street.
Clear.
So I think, yeah, it's actually in your presentation. You can
I see
see
it
a
now.
mock-up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question.
Yeah.
You wouldn't extend any rail lines till you had an agreement with somebody that's gonna use the property, right? But you just don't throw down a railroad.
No, that's that we did. We actually built
You
on,
built a railroad before you had a client?
yes, sir.
Oh,
Every project we've done with private money. We've never asked for a dime from the county. Greensville County offered us a lot of financial incentives. I'm sorry?
You're thinking the coal ash will in North Carolina because we don't want.
No coal ash coming to North Carolina.
You come out the road, change will be.
No, the project for the coal ash is on the Virginia side, and they don't need any more property. So it's not, there is no need for them to build anything on North Carolina. Yes, sir.
So how does the car dumping the coal ash and things of that nature happen in North Carolina if it's only in Virginia?
No, there's none of that is in North Carolina.
There's nothing to deal with coal ash at all.
Correct.
Because Because the letter, the information that I got when I contacted the zoning department, all that would be one of the things.
No, no,
that
sir.
go on there.
Absolutely not.
This is not first rodeo in cola.
I understand that, but
First time,
the-
it was
of the-
lies told in, like.
no, that's fine. So we have 11 industrial properties and only one of them does coal ash, only one. And it wasn't our project. It was, we built the infrastructure and Amrise and Dominion said, we're going to do the recycling at that property. That property is the only property that that project exists on. They don't need another property.
So the zoning map, you look at those parcels, you're saying that they are how many miles off of Highway 301? What the site is?
I guess it's about a mile off of 301.
A mile off of 301, because the GIS map shows that they're closer to US 301. Because I'm a Pleasant Hill.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you drive it, it's almost
I do understand that coal ash, the dust from coal ash, that PM2 particulate matter travels a long way. And there are homes that are in Pleasant Hill. There's a convenience store right across from this site.
right.
That a lot of people frequent, and there are people that live right there on 301
Right.
until you get down to just past the former club that's there.
Right, but that's
So
in
saying that there are no people within 5 miles that will be affected by this is a lot.
Well, you're saying that there's going to be coal ash in North Carolina, and I'm saying there's not going to be any coal ash.
You said in your presentation that those cars would come coal.
No, that's what they're doing on the old Georgia Pacific plant in Virginia. We built the rotary dumper on that property.
He was describing what their current processes are doing in Virginia.
No, I don't think so, sir.
You land, you said, well, how you gonna dump the coal in the grass and stop all the wind from blowing the coal? How you gonna stop it?
Excuse me,
I don't.
y'all getting out of hand. He's addressed that, and
There's no coal ash on this project. It's
He gonna build it, but when he done it, if he done, he gonna come over this side.
What?
Wind-
Okay.
Wind blow everywhere, you can't control the wind.
It's
that
been-
is in
it's been
Virginia.
operating for a year now. Has anybody seen coal ash anywhere?
Yeah.
You realize it's been operating for a year in Virginia?
Okay,
I know that.
Right, so there's no coal ash because they maintain
Ivy.
dust control, and so it never leaves that. We have inspections every single month by the Department of Environmental Quality of Virginia, and every single inspection has no notes, no comments, fully operational approval. We have never had anything leave the property, period. Yes, ma'am.
Just as an observer, I'm in the area, I got to and I'm several miles down. My question has to do with, so you typically, your company purchases large tracts of land with no potential clients to use it, and you just kind of hold it, and then somebody comes by and says to you, oh, you got this land, can we use it?
Well, we sometimes have to build, so the glass factory, we had to remediate it. So it was abandoned. Nobody wanted to touch it because it had toxic rooms in it. It had toxic environment. We had to go in, clean the place up, repair the building, and then list the building.
But what I want to talk about is the things that you're restricted, trying to get rezoned.
Yes,
So right now, you have no one that is interested in the land, you just want to get it rezoned for some potential use in the future.
correct.
And it will need to fall within these new zoning pieces that you all are discussing tonight.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about potentially, I don't know, data centers.
Data center,
How far is any water from any of this 300, 400 acres of land that you're talking about?
there's not enough power for a data center there. It's impossible.
But let's just talk about that in terms of, you bought the land with no intention,
Yeah, but you can't put a data center where there's no power.
but you build out whatever you want.
I can't build power. I'm not a power company. You'd have to go to Dominion, wait 7 years to get a power upgrade in order to build a data center anywhere. And
Okay, so you're just wanting to have the land and have it rezoned in case somebody comes by and wants to use 400 acres?
no, we'll develop, sort of. I mean, We don't.
Pretty much, I mean, you have nothing in mind, you have no plan on the drawing board or anything
No.
at this point.
Correct.
You just wanna own the land and have it so that you can potentially do something with it in the future.
Correct.
I mean, that's what you're saying to us, right? Am I
Yes, that's
correct?
right.
Okay. I mean,
And
lots of billionaires do that.
And the first step of that, yeah.
Buy land,
Yeah.
400 acres, and just kind of hang on to it.
But the first step of that would be the rail yard, which then would hopefully attract other things.
And, I have a comment as well. You're trying to rezone it from agriculture to light industry.
Yes.
Now, we have gone through this process before, when it was rezoned for light industry.
Mhm.
And then we get a shocker when we had land rezoned again for special use permit and heavy industrial. And this is what we suspect would happen with this. If you start with light industrial, then it's gonna, I know our board, it's gonna go to heavy industrial. And then we're gonna be against something that we really won't want in this area.
Okay, well, then you have the opportunity at that time to say you're not interested in whatever that client wants to build there.
You know, we want our board to hear this because we know what we'll have has already happened.
I have a question. How is it that you all can make a decision on some land when you say you've never been down there? You actually, have you ever been down Forest Road? Ain't nobody up there right there. So you're gonna make a decision on somewhere you've never been?
I raised
No,
my
I
hand, I've
think
been
the
there.
point of that is that it's so remote, nobody drives down that road.
Let me tell you guys, see, I'm part of that, Atlantic Coast Pipeline, I'm part of that. Stop it. I know all about that area down there.
Okay.
Keep on back, ain't nothing but farmland. I've been down that road, and you said ain't no water when you going out on the left-hand side, it's swamp area over there, plenty of water over there.
On the Virginia side.
No, on the North Carolina side.
Well, you have Jack Swamp that goes through the properties.
I'm trying to tell you, it's swamp. I've been there.
Well, it's not all swampland.
Yeah, but it's swamp down there. But you said when the water swamp.
I don't
No,
know.
I never said there was no water. Somebody asked about water for a data center. Sorry if
Yeah.
I never said there was no water. I said there was no water for a
All
data
right,
center
let's
because
get back on
I
track.
don't know why we're getting thrown in with a data center.
Yeah.
There's no power, ma'am.
I'm not talking about that part of the, what you're talking about, what we do know.
Okay. All comments need to address the board.
I'm through, I ain't got nothing.
All
I
right.
mean,
Okay.
there's not even 25 megawatts there. I have no idea how you could possibly build a data center there.
Okay.
I have
Do you
no idea.
have any other presentation, or is that?
No, I think that's it. Hopefully I answered everybody's question. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, public comment now. We had 4 people signed up. Earl Daniels, you have 3 minutes apiece. You're not gonna speak? Okay, I called your name. No.
Is Mike on? Can everyone hear?
Yes.
Okay. From reading the introductory document, one might conclude as stated, quote, "The proposed use of this land is for a new rail yard," end of quote. However, from reading the document's title, Forest Road Industrial Expansion, one finds parcel A, 95 acres, is for rail expansion. Parcel B, 498 acres, is for industrial growth. And while it states no new county infrastructure is required and 0 county or state funds required, it makes reference, without specifics, to a growing demand for local services. Question: what local services are in demand, and are they without cost? In the section titled Zero Residential Impact, it states, site's isolation makes it ideally suited for heavy industrial classification, which suggests the possibility of heavy industrial classification, which the county would lose control of the placement of the industry, and which is inconsistent with light industrial zoning proposals. In that same subsection, it states rail access support manufacturing and logistic tenants who require intermodal freight capability. Question: who determines the tenants? And finally, it states rail-connected industrial development along US 301 corridor as priority land use. Question, what is the rail-connected industrial use development for which it appears the county would have no control? Section 5 makes reference to pre-certified industrial camps. Furthermore, there is a statement that discussions are already taking place with multiple logistics and manufacturing firms. Question, who are these multiple firms and are they compatible with the interests and desires of our citizens? Lastly, in the section titled Long-Term Infrastructure Coordination, reference is made to Phase 1 tenants. Question, who are the targets for the Phase 1 tenants and what control does the county have over any tenants that move into the area? Again, I ask, will they be consistent with the interests and desires of our citizens? In closing, I remind the board and ask the public to listen closely. The materials in the board book for the Northampton County Commissioners will include 2-page list of parcels included in the rezoning request. The subheading of the first list of parcels reads Skipper's CCR Facility, property owners. In common jargon, CCR typically refers to coal, I'm talking about COAL, coal combustion residuals. Finally, in considering rezoning of a parcel, the board must consider the totality of potential uses of the property, not just the proposed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, Richie Harding.
Let's talk about history. Vista Green was here several years ago. After a strong showing of support from residents across the county, they announced during the public hearing in Seaboard, they would withdraw their permit. Words were being floated around that these ponds would be lined and that those liners do not leak. We were told during that meeting by those applying for the permit that even lined coal ash ponds leak. On Tuesday night at the Garrison Community Forum, I mentioned this rail yard will require approximately 500 acres of land. That sounds like something may be on the ground. We know that airborne particles cause a serious risk for all people and an even deadlier one for people with respiratory issues. Let's talk briefly about the people. I understand governmental agencies have no obligation to treat or support any well water issues that may arise. With that being said, there has been little to no involvement from our health department to check on the citizens of James Jones Road nor Warner Bridge Road that deal with the nitrates in the water they consume. Nitrates that led to serious intestinal issues for Mr. Lawrence Brody. I thank Reverend Charles China for coming to Brodytown to check on Mr. Brody and others who were dealing with water contamination. I thank Mr. Tony Burnett, emergency management at the time, for the pallet of bottled water. Pastor Judkins and Cool Spring Missionary Baptist Church for the cash donation to purchase water. I also thank Becky Turner and our Public Works Department for very quickly getting some water meters installed for residents who need them. Unfortunately, Mr. Brody later died from intestinal issues after consuming large amounts of well water. This even after, with the leadership of the Southern Environmental Law Center, we put boots on the ground to get data from the residents that live near this facility and the wood pellet facility. Data that we presented to you concerning the health and well-being of citizens in our communities. I say again, there has been little to no involvement from our health department to check on the citizens of James Jones Road nor Warner Bridge Road. While DAQ, Department of Air Quality, and Department of DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality, is tasked with ensuring facilities like these operate within regulations, they do not have the manpower to do so. A lot of the facilities I'm aware of are self-monitoring. That's not good. We're now talking about 3 hazardous industries in a 5-mile range: a hog farm, a wood pellet manufacturer, and now a coal ash facility, all which pollute air and water. There's plenty of land north of that coal ash transfer station. Let Greensville County use their land. We do not want this. Thank you.
Thank you. Alfred Quashipi.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
What's a rail yard? Well, did this company buy this large acreage merely for a rail yard. When the matter came before the planning board, and planning and zoning director doesn't know the purpose of the rail yard, doesn't know what's going to happen, what type of employees will be involved at that rail yard, whether or not it'll involve coal ash or not. We do know coal ash is there. We know that the proposed Northampton County site is much larger than the Skipper's Virginia site. So would the owner have you to believe that if opportunity arises, if the coal ash company wanted to expand, that he would deny that? That would not happen? Does someone invest that type of money in that acreage of property without any idea as to what it'll be used for? Well, if you look at the material that was in the board book, it says that there have been discussions regarding letters of intent. What letters of intent? What companies? What's the nature of the company? They say, well, we can't tell you the name of the company because that's secret. What's the nature of the company? So they already, he tells you he doesn't know what he's going to do, but then there already been discussions according to what's in the board book of businesses involving letters of intent. That means, what type of industries again? This Skipper's site started at 64 acres, grew to over 270 acres, and was zoned light industrial. However, later, heavier industries were allowed through special use permits. I talked to an environmental specialist today, and what they told me was that companies will do that. They'll start out light industrial, but then they'll move and request heavy industrial. And then counties are adverse to lawsuits, so they're scared. Well, we already let in the light industrial. We'll go ahead with the heavy industrial, because they talk about a campus. Remember, it's not going to be one facility. It's going to be a campus. So you get all these other applicants who come in, and then you have the larger facilities. There are tips as to intent. And, you know, there's that saying, what's past is prologue. You look at what happened in the past to give an idea of what will come in the future. It says that the site's isolation is ideal for heavy industrial use. That's in the material. It says it doesn't affect neighborhoods, schools, or community gathering. But we know right now coal ash is toxic, and coal ash travels, is airborne, as was said. They're replete. In the board book presentation, the PowerPoint that I saw, it talked about heavy industrial. It didn't say light industrial. Now this one says light industrial, we saw today, but earlier it was heavy industrial. And so what happens if the proposed site is twice large as the Virginia site? Will coal ash be loaded at that site? Will the process be sealed and self-contained? How will workers be protected? We know from our earlier fight that full body suits or breathing apparatus are necessary to protect workers from debilitating conditions and death. They're preparing for this campus. What type of firms in the discussion for the LOIs? And at the end of the PowerPoint that I saw, Mr. Chairman said they were requesting rezoning from agriculture to heavy industrial. Well, that's changed today. So I would just submit, commissioners, there's more information that's needed before you can determine this rezoning will secure safety and will promote health and general welfare of our citizens. And I echo what was said earlier. I would urge that you get in the car and drive up there, go down that road, count the number of homes between the county line, across from that convenience store down to what the
Your time's up.
yes, sir, to the construction company. Thank you.
Tony Mumford?
That's probably a waste of time, because I had to prepare myself, because I just learned about it. If you folks are gonna put stuff in the hurl, I stopped that 5 years ago, because every time I read something, the next day I had to read a retraction. So nobody gets that paper. But I'd like to see a map on the ground of where this is, because I'm less than 3 miles as the crow flies from it. You're even closer.
Yes, sir.
So we're concerned. My concern is we need something in Northampton County, but we don't need something that's really gonna be a harm to us. I'm gonna relinquish my time, but you and I both know we don't need a problem, because our homes are there.
Thank you. Okay, we now give the applicant a chance to comment on any questions people had. Do you have any comments about any of the things that were brought up?
I do. First and foremost, the Greensville County property was already zoned heavy industrial. We didn't have to rezone it. That's number one. Number two, we had no idea what clients we were going to have there, but I keep hearing conversations about coal ash, and the coal ash project that is on that property is self-contained. There is no additional requirement. The contract with Amrise and Dominion is already done. There's no expansion whatsoever. It's going to take them 20 years to process that material. They have no need for additional land or additional locations. So it just happens that that property could be 1,000 miles away. It has nothing to do with the Northampton property. I've also heard about contamination. I've been involved with the waste industry for 20-something years. I've had a landfill in Belle Chase, Louisiana, and I hear lots of people scream all sorts of scary things. I was at hearings where people said, I've seen two-headed deer that's caused by the C&D landfill that you have. And when the commissioner said, did you see this? No, I didn't, but my cousin Bobby saw it. Do you have pictures of it? No, but I know there are two-headed deer out there. I have no idea how a C&D landfill could possibly create a two-headed deer, but those are the things that I've dealt with over my life. I hear people talk about coal ash, and I agree that coal ash has toxic nature to it. I totally agree with that. But it is managed and controlled in an environment that it's received, stored, and processed at the Greensville County location, and none of it leaves the location. We have monthly inspectors who come out and make sure that no ash leaves the area that's in the control area. That there are no trucks leaving that area. There are no people leaving that area. There are sprayers that moisture keeps the coal ash wet enough so it doesn't blow around. And I would invite anybody to stand on Forest Road any day of the week, any time of the year, anytime, any wind, and see if there's any coal ash moving anywhere. And the answer is, if you didn't even know it was there, you'd never know it was there, because there is nothing leaving the property. And when we talk about rail cars, none of the rail cars that we want for this project will have anything to do with the rail cars that are owned by Amrise and controlled by Amrise. We have no need for additional rail for their material. They have more than enough rail cars. They have more than enough rail line on the Greensville property for that project. What we would hope to have, and when you say some conspiracy about secret, LOIs, we've talked to an automobile manufacturer, somebody that is looking for a location that has rail that they can bring in parts and ship their cars out by rail. Yes, we've had conversations. Are they substantive? No, not yet, because we're years away from doing this. But we are having conversations with people who have approached us at the Greensville location, and we tell them we have no more room. So they say, well, do you have anything near there with rail? And we say we're on the road to get that. So yes, we know that if we build a rail yard or the rail tracks for rail receiving, we know that we'll be able to attract industries that are looking to expand and invest in an area that has rail with the right zoning. Nobody is going to go through the process of planning a manufacturing facility or any kind of business without the right zoning already in place. If you have the zoning, you can bring the businesses to the location. Without that zoning, it's all a maybe. I can't attract anybody with an agricultural zoning. Everything's special exception. So I just wanted to answer. Thank you.
I didn't see that on the agenda that the applicant gets 2 shots at it. But since he was the point looking at me, I'd be glad.
That's not,
Because he's saying, I'm reading from the material, it said LOI. And why didn't you talk about those businesses up front? Let's say until I said it.
Well.
That's what we talk about, lack of
Well,
transparency.
had a limited, yeah, he had a limited time to speak, so I guess he was trying to.
Thank you,
All
appreciate
right,
it.
thank you.
It's been said that trucks have been hauling material from that site in North Pacific and taking it up to Virginia.
We're gonna have a call of order here. Well, this is not an open discussion now. We've had the comments time. Okay, does anyone from the board have any questions from the applicant? Or
Mr. Chairman, you started talking now.
I'm sorry, somebody.
people are talking to him.
Yeah. It's like I'm not supposed to talk, you still talking. Let's do it right now.
I agree. People are trying to ask him questions, which they should not be doing.
Keep quiet, just like you do everyone else.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have questions for the staff, the zoning board staff, or the applicant? All right, if there are none, then we will close this public hearing and begin the deliberation phase.
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. So it's been alluded, what type of businesses, Mr. McAllister, all right, with the planning and zoning board, which is always, anything comes through the planning and zoning board first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When this was presented, was there any type of businesses, to your knowledge, that was saying it was going up, something's going up there,
Only
other
thing
than what
that
the
was-
gentleman is presenting?
The only thing that was discussed was just a rail yard for future expansion of whatever may come up, but no businesses were ever came up. It was just for the expansion of a rail yard. That's it. Which does also create some jobs as well.
Expansion of a railroad,
That's it.
railway, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Rail yard.
Okay, rail yard, okay. I'm just one for clarity.
Just want to also add, the conversations that we've had with economic development in terms of the rail spur and businesses that may be attracted to that site. We do receive a lot of requests, automotive, manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, but we don't have rail spurs in the county to attract those types of businesses just yet. So there are a large or a vast types of industries that would be attracted to that site because of the rail spur. Food manufacturing, auto, engineering, whatever it may be. But industry that uses that heavy rail. if That helps.
It
answer
uses
your
heavy
question.
rail.
Yes. And does not want to truck items up and down the interstate I-95 or 258, whatever it may be. So,
Okay.
does that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
All right, we will now close the hearing and go back into our regular session. Says the board will now deliberate. Before we do, I will note for the record that state law requires the board to do three things when it acts on a zoning map amendment. First, decide whether to approve or deny the amendment. Second, adopt a statement describing whether the action is taken is consistent with the comprehensive plan. And third, adopt a statement explaining why the action taken is responsible and in the public interest. The board may adopt those two statements as a single combined statement, may include them in the same motion. Factors that we may consider on reasonableness are the size, physical conditions, other attributes of the area proposed to be zoned, the benefits and detriments to the landowners, the neighbors, and the surrounding community, the relationship between the current, actual, and permissible development on the tract and the adjoining areas, and the development that would be permissible under the proposed amendment. Also, we take into account why the action is taken in the public interest and any change conditions warranting the amendment. And we have three possible options at this time: to move to approve, move to disapprove, or defer if we want more information. And if we defer, we have to set a date. What are the wishes of the board? Any comments from the board?
Thank you, Chair Martin. I know for me personally, I would like to take an opportunity to go and ride down the road to look at that particular property, whatever the case is. I definitely appreciate the presenter that shared the information and comments from citizens as well. And also us just understanding the source of where we're getting information from. Just being someone who's lived in Northampton County my whole entire life, and also seeing businesses that we've lost from Northampton County. And I won't name these businesses particularly, but we lost a major one that was in Rich Square just because we couldn't get land and we couldn't get zoning for it. So we lost that major company that had been a huge pillar in our community for like, I know over like 30, 40 years. And they went to a neighboring county where they got the land and they're thriving. They weren't harmful industry or anything like that. Same thing with another industry that's right next door to us in Northampton County. It's not a harmful industry. They are thriving. And so my thing is I'm all for us making wise decisions around what's best for citizens in regards to what's hazardous and what's not hazardous. But I'm also wanting to make sure that we don't deprive ourselves of opportunities. And so again, as we're having more conversation with our planning and zoning boards, with them bringing recommendations forth, also, as us commissioners communicating with the Office of the County Manager, as I'm listening to some of the citizens' public comments, it appears that there continues to be a disconnect between what leadership in planning and zoning is aware of versus what conversations or what's documented in our presentations. And so just in fairness to the citizens, from where I stand, from where I sit, I would like to go visit that site, and I'm willing to drive there and look at it myself. But also, if we're bringing industry in, understanding that we're not wanting to bring anything harmful in, but if we want Northampton County to thrive, if we want our young people to come back and to have careers and to have jobs, we're going to have to open up our mindset to industry, and it may not always be liked. You can get heavy industry that's not harmful, and I know that just because of, like I said, companies that we've lost over the time that I've been just a citizen, a teenager in Northampton County. And so for me, my personal decision is just for me to defer so I can have more time to think about it and to process. And the space and place that I'm speaking from is just like when we took action on the moratorium and we made history in North Carolina. But yet there are a lot of conspiracy theories around us continuing to try to bring data centers here. I can tell you just with the conversations that I've had with citizens, like I said, just their thoughts, their feedback, their concerns around data centers and what we're still learning about them now. There's no way that I would be engaging in conversations about trying to bring something here that we've taken a firm stance. And so that's what I'm speaking of when I say we have to get the real source of information and clearly see through what some conspiracy theories are, because I know for a fact that it's not something that I'm looking to do as a commissioner and have not had conversation about it. But again, a lot of our meetings are continuing, like every time we have anything around zoning that comes up, it goes back to data centers. And I know for a fact that we are not looking to do that right now. I know from definitely from where I'm sitting, but my choice, my opinion tonight is to defer, to learn more, to process more information, to be able to ask the presenter more questions that we may not be able to think of or ask on tonight. But again, thanking the citizens for their comments and also thanking the presenter for what was shared as well. Thank you.
I guess at this point, I don't need to do a whole lot of talking tonight. And where I'm standing is my motion will be to deny the rezoning. And I don't want to do a whole lot of talking. When I came in today, I said, I'm not going to do a lot of talking. And let me tell you why I'm going to be brief. And I'm going to say this. Lack of trustworthiness. Lack of trustworthiness from the head to the toe. And that's all I got to say about that.
I got it. No, no, I didn't hear a motion. Yeah. No, I don't have any comments. Yes, sir. Okay. Commissioner Wood, I appreciate the comments. I appreciate Commissioner Von Taylor comments. And when you look at where we are, I think it is a good idea to ride down Forest Road as was presented this evening. And with that being said, Mr. Chair, I never have a problem with making a motion. I move that the Board of Commissioners, having closed the public hearing on rezoning application RZ 26-00001, defer action on the application into the board's regular meeting in September. And that's on the first,
The first one would be September the 9th.
September the 7th, right?
Well, we're gonna meet Wednesday, that, because that's.
The Labor Day, that's right. First meeting was September the 9th in September. So defer this until September the 9th meeting after Labor Day, Mr. Chairman. It would give us opportunity to go down Forest Road, was just presented, and then take a look at what exactly, and even talk to our neighbors in Greensville County. I know the Board of Supervisors quite well. What are the operations going over there in Greensville County? What's going on with any coal ash? Let's get all these questions answered. Get all the questions answered, not supposition or rhetoric. From the sources. Not looking up something on the internet.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion is carried. The item is deferred till the September the 9th meeting. All right, next item is Trillium Health Annual Report. Who did? The man with the blue shirt on? Okay.
I thought everybody was here to see me tonight. I guess not.
Everybody didn't vote, Mr. Chairman. We need to revisit that.
Do what?
Deferment. Did everybody vote on the deferment? I think this was. Did you record the vote?
That's
I
me.
know we had 4 voted.
Yeah. This requirement to vote.
Did you vote, Melvetta, on the deferment?
No.
Okay, you record,
Yes.
you vote for, yes, yeah, okay,
yes,
so
for the trust- for the,
deferment is unanimous, okay, all right. Okay, okay, all right. Okay, we're good to go, Trillium.
All right. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for letting me come tonight. I will try my best to be very brief and be mindful of your time tonight. I just want to share some information, just provide some updates. Uh-oh. Does my clicker work? Do I not know how to work the clicker? Might be the better question. I don't know how to make it work. I thought I did, but apparently I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I hope you all are doing well this evening. Yay, technology.
he doing that or is she doing, okay, there you go.
And if I need to, I can just say advance or something if that works easier. If there's someone in the back who's clicking for me, will that work easier? Let me try it now.
Okay.
Got it. All right.
Business.
All right. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. All right. So I just want to share some information tonight. Our mission is around transforming lives and building community through partnerships and proven solutions. One thing I really want you all to hear tonight is that Trillium is a local public health plan serving Medicaid members. And just hear that we are local, we live in the counties we work in, and we are also a public agency. I think everyone doesn't always realize that we are a public local government agency. We help our members access care with providers out in the community. They can access care by contacting providers directly, calling us. We have a no wrong door policy when it comes to accessing care. All right, so some of you have seen this map for years. This is the map of the North Carolina public system. It has changed and shifted a lot. When I started working in this field 28 years ago, there were 43 area programs. As of today, there are 4 remaining public agencies that are the tailored plans. And as of October 1st, there will be 3. The 2 blue agencies are actually consolidating. So right now, today, Trillium, we are the largest in the state of North Carolina. We manage 46 counties. And that has come through lots of different consolidations and shifts and just forming new agencies to cover just short of half the state. There are about 3.1 million people within our catchment area. And of those, about 92,000 are actually on the tailored plan for Medicaid. One thing that has been very important as we have grown and shifted and changed, that you all don't feel like you are served by a 46 county entity. So we've been operating a regional structure since about 2015. We have 5 different regions. Every region has a board. Every region has a consumer and family advisory committee. And our governing board is made up of individuals from those regional boards. So the people that you all appoint to our board are the individuals who end up on our governing board who oversee the work that we do. Every region has a regional vice president, community engagement staff, community liaisons who are working out there in your communities. So some of our representation for Northampton County, Dr. Edwards is on our board. Our non-commissioner seat is currently vacant. We'd love an appointment. That could be someone who works at social services, someone with healthcare experience, finance, insurance. There are lots of different categories, but that seat is vacant. We're working on a consumer and family advisory committee, so that's a person with lived experience to serve on that board from Northampton. I'm the regional vice president, and Annette is our community liaison. Annette's back there, she can wave. You probably have seen her out somewhere in your community. She participates in events, tries to share information. We set up tables in different places. That's a picture of Annette somewhere here in Northampton County. We also have your community paramedic, was actually our CIT First Responder of the Year. So Ashley from Northampton County was recognized at our luncheon we had in Hartford County, as well as in Wilmington, as being one of the first responders of the year. I'll skip this one. All right, this will cover this. So people ask, like, what is it Trillium does? What do you manage? So these are really the plans that we manage. You talk about us being a public health plan. The first thing we do is our whole health plan. That's a tailored plan. So for individuals who fall on the Medicaid tailored plan, we manage their behavioral health services, substance use, physical health services, pharmacy. All of their health care is managed under Trillium. And those are individuals who have severe and persistent mental health needs, substance use disorder, and intellectual and developmental disabilities. We do some work with people who have Medicaid Direct. We also manage some state-funded services for people who don't have any, who are uninsured or underinsured, to make sure those individuals can access behavioral health care as well. We also do a lot of things in our community with funding from our counties and like ABC dollars. And those are some of those non-traditional things we do that we call Thrive Local. This is 46. Let me just show you Northampton data. All right, so in your Medicaid population, you've got about 6,700 folks with Medicaid, 1,600 folks in Northampton County. Out of those, 531 fall on our health plan. So it's usually about 8% because we are serving people who have some of the higher needs in your county. Then the other breakdown shows that They're either managed on Medicaid Direct, but most people in your county, their Medicaid is managed by one of the private insurance companies that now manage Medicaid. So they manage it for most people, and we manage it for people who have the higher level of need as your public health plan. For persons served across our entire catchment area, it was about 104,000 people. I used to say million, now it's $1 billion because we're covering total health care and a lot more people now. About $1.7 billion in healthcare provided, and specifically in Northampton, we served 570 individuals, and the breakdown is mental health, developmental disability, or brain injury, and then substance use. The 570 is an unduplicated number because people can definitely receive services in more than one category. Somebody might get mental health treatment and substance use, but it's 570 unique members within Northampton County that have received services. Just a couple of updates. We have our mobile unit that still comes to Northampton County. They sit out at DSS. They're usually there about every week or every other week. People can actually go to the mobile unit. They can get a clinical assessment. They can participate in telehealth services for mental health, med management. There's a wide variety that Monarch offers right in the parking lot of your social services. Also at social services, you can see some of our reentry simulations. In Northampton County, we've done a reentry simulation to help people walk through what it's like coming back into community after incarceration. We've also done a supporting children early simulation in Northampton County, which was really about the pathways that families take when they're coming into care. And in April, we're doing a post-disaster simulation here. So Northampton will actually be the only county I have that's had all 3 simulations. And we're working with DSS to have all of those right here in the county. We've done some work with one community. You've probably seen them. They do pop-ups at various places in your county, and they work with us to help get health literacy out there and just share information. Just another way we're trying to be present in the counties. And the last thing I'll hit up on this one is our Ultimate Living Assistant. So that's a program we've developed that uses smart home technology that helps people in rural areas as well be more independent using technology and like remote monitoring. So we have some individuals with developmental disabilities who have been able to stay in their home, in family home with limited support because they're able to use these customized smart home technology. All right, a couple other programs we're doing. We've been doing some substance use prevention, trying to partner with our school systems. In Northampton County, Sold Out Youth has been used within the high school there. We've also had some folks who have done some training we've offered through AHEC. We distribute Narcan every year to the county, so we'll be doing this probably within the next week or so. And actually this year, it's new, it's not up here yet. We did a training called Teen Intervene, which was a 2-day training that was offered on brief interventions with teenagers around substance use. And we had individuals from your health department, DSS, as well as your judicial district who went through that 2-day training very recently. All right, so people can access care by calling our member and recipient service line. We also operate a crisis line that is 24 hours a day, and it is a real person who answers the phone. I've taken the shifts on that line myself, so it's not a machine. A person will talk to you when you call that and kind of screen and triage. Services are accessed based on urgency of need when they go through that triage process. And that's all I have. That was a lot really quick. I was trying to be mindful, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Bobby, not a question, but thank you so much for the work that Trillium does. I'm honored to be serving on that board and hear all the great things. When I see the crisis van sitting in front of social service, and we are utilizing it here in Northampton County at a great capacity, which let us know that there are some things that we need to discuss in our community when it comes to mental health.
Yeah, and please help spread the word that there is help out there.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing we need, leadership, leaders to talk about is to help reduce stigma, because stigma is one of the biggest barriers for people accessing care.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all you do.
Anyone else have any questions?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for all you do. Okay. Human Resources. Since we're jumping all out of order, I'm trying to keep up with myself.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Good evening.
So I come before you to bring forth two proposals to add to our personnel policy, two policies. These laws have been out since around 2022, 2023, and we have not yet been able to put it in our policy, our personnel policy. So one of which is our Pump Act, which pretty much represents for us to make sure we have something in place for when our employees that come back that have just had a child have the proper area to be able to pump without being interrupted. That will also fall under FLSA, making sure that if they are not working, they won't be compensated. But if they get interrupted, if they're, say for instance, the private area is their office and they get interrupted, then we have to pay them for that time. So we will make sure we're following the laws pertaining to that. And then the second one is the Pregnancy Work Fairness Act. And that one is to ensure that we are covering our women who are in childbearing ages. And right now, the policy may change later on in the year because they are currently working on some updates. So that may come when the HR committee comes back at a later date to go over the revamp of the entire personnel policy. Do you guys have any questions specifically to these two policies?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a room in mind for a pump station for a young mother that needs to pump? Do you have a room in mind that a young lady can use to do that?
So the goal is at our next department head meeting, if you guys choose to approve that, HR will speak to the department heads to make sure that they have a location at each specific building. And if they do not have a location, that we try to make sure that if something comes up, that we can able to accommodate those specific employees.
If I read correctly, the mother will need resources in which to keep the pumping kit clean.
Mm-hmm.
So will they need running water in that room or access to running water?
So they won't. I don't think that they need it in that specific room for when they pump, but they can use, I think most locations have a break room. They can use the break room to clean their equipment. And then they also have the capability now, they have those wipes and a lot of different things that they can bring to prepare. So we should be able to accommodate any employee that need that type of accommodation. We should be able to accommodate them, even if they have to come to a different building.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyone else have any more questions? If not, can we get a motion to approve these two additions to the employee manual?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Items are approved. Thank you. Okay, Veterans Advocacy Board appointment.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The Northampton County Veterans Advocacy Commission received a request from Ms. Cassandra Lanford to become a member of our commission. We've already voted on the membership, and it was yay. So we await your vote
Okay.
to complete it.
All right, so you've already approved and are recommending her for appointment.
Yes.
Okay. All right, does anyone have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Ms. Lanford to join the Veterans Advocacy Board as presented by Chairman Edwards.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Ron X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Ms. Langford is approved. You, one of my former classmates. Okay. Tax Department.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
My name is Shirley Kincaid. I'm from the tax department. Ms. Mason couldn't be here tonight. I'm bringing before you, I have 4 ad valorem tax refunds that need to be approved in the amount of $728.27. And I also have motor vehicle refunds that in the amount of, there's 4 for $728.85. These are things that we need to
Okay.
approve on tonight.
All right. Anyone have any questions? If not, could I get a motion to approve the tax refunds for, what's the first one, 728?
728.85. Yes, sir.
728.85.
Actually, they're both
Okay.
similar. The first one was for
Okay.
$728.27.
Yeah, yes, there's a 727. 728.27, excuse me, 728.27, and then there's a 728.85. All right, the first one is tax appeals in the amount of 728.27. You will see that on your first part of the presentation. Do I have a motion to approve those appeals in a total of 728.27?
Chair Martin, make a motion that we approve the tax appeals in the amount of $728.27.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried. Those are approved. The next are the motor vehicle taxes in the amount of 728.85. Do I have a motion for that?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the motor vehicle refunds in the amount of $728.85.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. All right, motion is carried.
Thank you.
All appeals approved. Thank you. Okay, next is economic development.
Okay, in your package, you will find a proposal for a Phase 1 environmental assessment from Mid-Atlantic Associates. This is very similar to the Phase 1 that we completed for the existing Commerce Park, but this Phase 1 is solely for the 80-acre tract that we have under the option agreement. Just to remind everybody, the Phase 1 assessment is basically to identify any potential or existing contaminations or hazards that are on the property, which will impact the marketability of the property. So just an assessment to identify any RECs for the site. The cost of this is $2,500 and it is budgeted in our EDC funds. So not asking for anything from general funds, just the approval of this contract to perform the assessment.
All right. Anyone have any questions for Derek? If not, could I get a motion to approve the $2,500 for the environmental assessment?
I move to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, Brian X. Taylor.
Aye. Motion is carried.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Approved. Okay, thank you. All right, next we have finance. Are you going to present that, County Manager, since?
No, Leslie asked that that be deferred to the next meeting.
Okay, all right, we'll defer that.
She did have a
to the next
family member to
meeting.
pass away, so that's why she's not here today.
All right, all right, thank you. All right, well, we're down to County Manager and Board comments.
I don't have a whole lot to add on tonight. Just wanted to just give an update on the audit. They're continuing to work hard on that, pulling all the documentations that's requested by the auditors and loading it into the portal. So right now, they're having like weekly meetings with the auditors just to make sure that we stay on track. The rule is now December to have your audit complete. Our target is October. So we're trying to go with the old target date to get us ahead of time and keep us ahead of schedule. So that's our target, October, but by general statute now is the December 31st is the date that you have to have it completed. But everything is going well. I think even next year it's going to be even better because the new system that we've upgraded to, where it's documents are being scanned, and I had an opportunity to look at that system today as I was reviewing some checks that were processed from a week ago, and I don't have to request the actual documents. I can go right into Munis, look online, pull up the check, and see all the documents that's associated with a particular check. So it's an advancement in the right way. That's what we wanted to go. I just want to thank everyone, all the citizens, for coming out and voicing your opinions. Again, we do respect and we thank you for your feedback. And it does not fall on deaf ears. I just want to reiterate that on tonight. Thank you again. Drive home safely.
Thank you. All right, we'll start with Commissioner Dr. Whitaker.
I'd like to say good evening to everyone again. Like I said, I don't have a lot because I made comments earlier, but just want to thank all of the citizens for coming out, for sharing your thoughts, for sharing your concerns, and for us to be able to communicate in a positive, productive way, knowing that we may not always agree, but we can definitely listen to each other with respect and then try to see it through each other's perspective. So again, just thank you to the citizens for coming out, and thank you to the staff for the presentations as well, for what you do, and hope everyone have a wonderful, safe, and blessed evening.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Every voice is being heard. We don't take this lightly. We are, I'm glad that people have their opinions. At least we get to hear them. And I was like Dr. Whitaker, I will visit Forest Road. I have not been there, and so would like to see the area, like to talk to the people in the area, but thank you for coming out, voicing your opinion, and have a safe trip.
Commissioner Brown Taylor.
As always, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Been a busy day today. Northampton County Schools had its bus going through to different stops today through Northampton County, giving out book bags, giving out ice cream and snow cones. They came to Seaboard, stopped at Town Hall, went up into the housing development. I was able to spend some time with them, left there. Had a chance to go down to Woodland today, attend the funeral of Miss Anna Begwin, who was a teacher at Northeast Academy. She taught English, and I knew her family, so I was able to go down to her service today and spend time with her family. So it's been a lot of things happening in Northampton County. Like to thank citizens for your support. There's convocation coming up, Northampton County Schools. I think it's on Thursday. You know what time, Ms. Vincent? Okay. Okay, I won't be able to get there. I'll be at the North Carolina Association of Commissioners Conference. That is the only thing that's going to keep me from being there this year. And remember, Northampton County, we will never stand begging for that which we have the power to earn. And again, thank you for coming. Have a great night.
Mr. Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Convocation is in the air. Had the opportunity to attend Halifax Community College's convocation. See my fellow trustee back there, Ms. Purnell. Community College got kicked off very well. And Ronald Shawans is coming up. Is that right, Dr. Whitaker? Northampton County, as you just heard, convocation is this Thursday. And as we look moving forward, again, appreciate all the comments. Just a comment, turning 60 this year, and when you look at tone, just want to say tone matters to my fellow citizens. Tone is everything when we're talking to one another. Now, being 60 years old, growing up right here in Jackson, there's a tone difference here in our dear county. Now, when you're sitting here as an elected official, hey, we deserve, and we to whom much is given, much is required. But when we're out and we're talking, we need to remember tone and name and calling and things of that nature. It has no place. We get more peace when we can have conversations with one another without the tone. So I would appreciate it tone when we are being respectful and mindful of one another's opinion, because that's how you come to a conscientious decision to be made. Thank you all.
Thank you for your comments, and I couldn't agree more. There's a certain lady that comes sometimes and talks, and I tell her afterwards, I said, just the way you speak makes me want to help you. And that makes all the difference in the world. But thank everybody for coming out tonight, and it's starting to get dark almost, so be careful looking out for the deer. They are moving around this time of night. And appreciate everybody coming out, and thank you. We will now, could I get a motion to go into closed session?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn a closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A for personnel, and North Carolina General Statute 143, 318, 11A 6 to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries or businesses.
Do I get a second? Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is carried. We'll now go into closed session.
Absolutely.
I was just going to talk about